Hey there, everybody, and another episode of Age of Grogu. And hello to Jason, and hello to Elijah. Hey guys,
Hey,
we are as we record this. This is the day before Book of Boba Fett drops. So we figured that we would get a reaction since you guys have not watched any of the Clone Wars, or not much of the animated series of the Clone Wars, correct?
yeah, I only
Yeah,
watched the one by the Samurai Jack guy.
Oh, okay. You watched the Tchaikovsky one. I think
Yeah,
that's his name. Yeah. And Elijah,
I've
you
seen
haven't watched much.
bits and
with the what?
bits and parts of some of the animated
Okay.
stuff, but like a lot of it is just, yeah.
Fair
All I
enough.
know is that they buffed Mace Windu because he's like punching droids with his bare hands.
Oh, that was in the other version. This is the George Lucas animated series that we're going to be watching. But there's five specific episodes related to young Boba Fett, and I figured that it'd be worth you guys kind of watching this just to get a kind of a backstory, since all of the animated series of Clone Wars is canon.
And it
Um,
only shows up in the animated series and not the Clone War animated movie.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
And
Boba
that was
Fett.
first. The movie was first, and then they did the series.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. The animated film was first. Then they followed through the Clone Wars. We do not see Boba Fett in the animated series of Star Wars Rebels. So really, it's like they didn't touch a lot on Boba Fett because it felt like they were anticipating some other story
Something
arcs for
waiting.
him down in the future. Yeah. Um,
So they wanted
and
to
this,
leave that open.
they left it open enough, and it's great that they left it open enough because that's how we're getting this Book of Boba series. I think it allows them to tell some of these stories that they never got to tell, or that they wanted to tell.
They've been holding on to Boba Fett for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
Someday
I
this
was
guy's going to pay off.
That's it. Yeah. I'm going to do a quick recap for you guys. Was Elijah, it's been a while since you've seen Star Wars Episode 2, The Attack of the Clones movie, right? Yeah, that looks like a yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since he's watched
It's been a while. I mean, like I saw them all in the theater, like probably twice each. And then after that, like I try to watch them on DVD and I just can't.
Just not your thing, huh?
I can't
I've
hang.
I've watched it recently.
They're physically hard for me to watch. Just everything, the pacing, and just everything of the movie make it hard for me to be engaged in watching them. So
he really did. He dialed in the Ralph McQuarrie look for that movie, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't remember too much.
Yeah, it's. I did watch it like I watched it like a month ago.
Okay.
And yeah,
it's been about a year since I've sat and watched Attack of
it's hard to get through that dialogue, you know.
There is a lot of dialogue in Attack of the Clones, but that aside, there is a very key moment. I'm going to pull up this video here that was going on, which we see Mace Windu facing down with Jango Fett, and we of course see Jango Fett lose his head over the whole situation.
His jetpack was busted, so
his
he couldn't get away.
Yeah, he couldn't get away.
Oh man, he got the Kinner rocket launcher on his
yeah, for sure.
I think that was that a reference to that?
Might have been
toy.
The Kinner like recall on his jetpack.
Oh, the Kinner! Oh no! Oh, you're talking about the original. That was Boba Fett, not Jango Fett.
I know, but
I know.
I'm
still saying.
But like, it could be like a reference to like the busted backpack.
I do want to say I could be completely wrong. I think Kenner was still making the Attack of the Clones toys at the time, not Hasbro. I think they did do I think they were planning to, or they might have made a Jango Fett with a magnet on the head with a removable head. I can't remember if that was a thing or not. I want to say it was. I could be wrong about that.
Boba Fett is like holding his helmet. It's like the last you see of him in the Attack of the Clones.
And in fact, that was my next shot. Is this one here? This is the last scene we see. Young Boba with
his head's out of there when he's doing that, right?
Right, like you would think that, like, as he touches.
Did he like shake the head? Like shook
the head out of there? Actually, no, it didn't. You can see,
comically
see.
Falls out of the helmet.
Let me show you right here.
It
Oops,
it happened so quick.
There, okay. There is the shadow off to the right of the head.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The head is separating from the helmet itself, and you can see,
his head's just rolling
that's
around
why when
on
he picked it up, it
Geonosis.
wasn't there. Yeah, the head was
we
off to the right.
Quentin Tarantino
by,
blood splatter
yeah,
when that head came off.
For sure, yes. And of course, I got to mention it was young Daniel Logan who played the role of young Boba Fett there, and Lucasfilm ended up by bringing him back. I don't know if you didn't realize this, for the animated Clone Wars, because Boba Fett was still a child at the time. And
is this like the one where he infiltrates like the clones and stuff? He's like
among
all the kids.
Yeah. It's a 3-part story.
They all look like him, and
Yes,
and he's all pretending to not be Boba Fett. Or
absolutely,
whatever.
yeah. So Daniel Logan does you know more than you lead on there, Jason. Interesting. But
I see things. I know things.
Okay, well,
things.
we're going to show you
I
that
retain things.
That is of course voiced by Daniel Logan as well, which is kind of cool. So they did continue him through to play young Boba Fett in the series, and unfortunately we haven't
anybody
seen
that gets to play Boba Fett on screen is pretty lucky.
Oh, absolutely. And there's only about 5 or 6 people that have either voiced Boba Fett or played Boba Fett, I think, overall. So.
What does he do currently? I know he's like still like promotes the being Boba Fett.
Yes,
stuff,
yeah.
He was like hoping to reprise his role, but
I believe he did. Do that again, Jason. This is
me and my friend when the Attack of the Clones came out. Me and my friends used to we always quoted Star Wars movies, and it was like, man, did you see Boba Fett? He's like, yeah. All I can remember him saying is dead. Just yells it with that Kiwi accent.
For sure, absolutely. Anyway, I believe he lives in Los Angeles now, and he does continual work as far as I know. I haven't really followed too much, but there you go. So yeah, what they ended up by doing in the animated Clone Wars is they actually ended up by bringing back young Boba Fett as a character in 5 episodes. They did a big 3-part story arc, which I'm going to show you guys right now, and I'd love to get your reaction to it. Then they brought him back briefly for a short sequence in a later season episode in season 4, and then they bring him back a 5th time in the last episode. But then I've also going to show you right at the end, there was an animatic that they did from a later season 6 episode that never got picked up because it was after Disney acquired Lucasfilm and got all the material. But this particular animatic shows you the sequences of Boba Fett and Cad Bane and a very interesting story arc that took place in there. And so I'm going to show you the clip that I've actually found online and get your reaction to that, because I've got a feeling that kind of might lead quite a bit into Book of Boba Fett as well. Yeah,
I remember when we were younger and Revenge of the Sith hasn't come out yet, and a lot of us were speculating that we were going to see Boba Fett avenge his dad or his master clone.
That was
and he was going to kill Mace Windu. But then, you watch Revenge of the Sith, nothing happened. He didn't even show up.
That was the biggest. It was interesting. I don't like to say there was disappointments in the prequels, because I did actually really enjoy them. But one of my biggest things was they had hyped up, Boba Fett so much as to how he became the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. It always made sense to me that Boba Fett might have become that because he did take out Mace Windu, the second in charge of Jedi. And I'd always had this theory between episode 2 and episode 3 that when we saw episode 3, we might see this weird showdown where a kid version of Boba Fett was that good that he took out the leader of, the second leader of the Jedi troops, and by some skilled way or whatever. And unfortunately, it didn't play out that way. It was, it was Palpatine.
Yeah, I guess that was a pretty big theory that a lot of people had. Absolutely. I guess a lot of people thought the same.
Yeah, and part of me definitely wishes to have seen that could have been part of that story arc. I felt a little unsatisfied, but then again, it's interesting.
I mean, I like Revenge of the Sith, and I didn't even notice that Boba Fett wasn't in it when I watched it the first time.
Exactly. Yeah,
it was one of those I was pretty stoked on it.
Yeah. But that would have made for an interesting conversation. But unfortunately,
he's not in there at all anywhere in Revenge of the Sith. He's only in Attack of the Clones.
There was no room.
Yeah. But at the same time, what you're about to see is stories and adventures of what young Boba Fett was really up to in that particular arc. So, all right. So without further ado, guys, let's play this and get your reaction on these episodes.
Cool. I like this. I like this. This kind of transatlantic kind of 50s radio. Host.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, the opening of every Clone Wars is like this.
Really? And this is like a previously.
I love that. It's so camp. It's like it's so Flash Rogers.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah.
Or Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Who's narrating then?
Clone Youth Brigade.
Brent. Who narrates that bit?
Tom Kane is the voice of the
voices. Is that him?
What's that?
Is that young Boba?
The new guy with
cool.
long
I like
hair
the design of
Boba.
this space station.
All of them.
This is cool. I like this.
Oh,
this
the voice.
This is cool. It's all him. He's all playing against himself.
No. Daniel Logan voices all of the characters. Yeah.
They're all voiced by the same person, right?
Yeah, correct. Dee Bradley Baker is the voice of the older clones on all the series, but Tom Kane is the voice of the announcer in the opening credits. He's also the voice of Yoda in the series as well.
It's a reference back to its serial origins.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Flash Gordon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, as in
like Super Friends.
Yeah.
And they did that even on the first season?
Yes, yeah. All the series.
The Clone Wars thing.
And in fact, they even had it at the beginning of the Bad Batch, if you recall. He opens the Bad Batch. So here, this is one of the rare times we get to see what the clones do and how they train and how they learn when they're
this is kind of cool. The inside look on the
Alongside
look at Mace.
They've really increased his charisma in this.
Oh, yeah.
Anakin's a whole different character.
Yeah.
I like that they like to have Jedi occasionally teach the troops as well, since they were the creation of the clone army, which is a great. There's
Boba. Man!
Yeah,
he's got a look.
He knows. Like right now, he already knows. Like that's.
He's there for a reason.
Okay.
He's trying to assassinate Mace, huh?
Tell that to Culture Club.
This is my ship.
Or wait, who's the bad guy in DuckTales? Or Scrooge's nemesis? That's what he looks like.
I love the camera angles and the camera choices in this series.
That's got to be pretty hard to shoot in space, to be honest. You know.
Yeah.
I know that look.
Of course you know the look. We all look the same. And he's gonna hit it. One shot. They only had one voice for all four of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh
yeah.
Yep. You can't miss.
Nice.
Yep.
Clean shots.
Yep. This is also part of the way how they observe the troops as to which inventory that they decide that they're going to put them into.
Weeding out the stronger ones.
Yeah.
No, that's a question, Brent.
Oh, sorry. What was the question? I was enthralled in the episode again.
Mace Windu looks like he's wearing like clone trooper gauntlets.
He probably is, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The patch on the arm, do they all have different patches too to identify them, or is that something that's just...
the patch is part of the clone...
Camino seal.
Seal, yeah.
It's what that the guy with the glasses had that patch on in,
correct, yeah.
in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Put these inside my
snaps.
He's dead.
Oh yeah.
He's dead. Did.
But you don't have four senses where you kind of like can feel like a trap coming?
Doesn't look like a drill.
Well, you have to be searching for something to know that you're going to be walking into a trap. And because he's not walking into a trap, who doesn't think he's walking into a trap, you wouldn't be using the force for it. It's like if you were searching a room for a key,
right.
You would find it. But if you weren't searching for it, you probably wouldn't find it.
When you're dead, do as I say.
Is that lady bounty hunter?
Aurora Singh, yeah. It's a very telling about Boba Fett in that line there that he only is really after Mace Windu.
He's
he
got
doesn't want to kill anybody else.
He's got compassion.
Compassion, exactly, yeah.
I would not have guessed that for as a characteristic of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa! Oh, they did the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. They couldn't save those troopers though.
Nope.
Where's Obi-Wan during all this?
On another mission. They never necessarily put the two characters together all the time. That's the great thing about the Clone Wars. They actually like to separate.
Where does at the end of all this? Where does this is off topic, but where does R2 end up after all this? If R2's hanging out with Anakin right now,
Where he ends up at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
He's with Anakin when he's in the beginning of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. He also carries the memories of Anakin's journeys.
Huh.
And he's also there when Anakin is killed off. So
yeah, he was on Mustafar.
R2 knows more than he's leading on when it comes to the story-wise.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh yeah.
Well, they get memory wipes.
Not R2. They make that very evident throughout the series. Both this and the movies. Nope. 3PO gets memory wiped.
Oh, I thought it was both of them because in Organa tell him to
just 3PO.
Oh, just 3PO.
Yeah, I like the design of the hyperspace rings. I think they're an awesome concept.
Do you think that each ring is like interchangeable between the spaceships, or you have to use your own?
I don't know.
Just like a bird scooter.
I would think that's like like all that stuff's interchangeable, like junk parts. Kind of change them, put them out, put them in something else.
I think they should be universal. They've got a bunch of them sitting there. Oh, there she is. That's what I thought.
It's like why they buy the metal scraps, like on Tatooine. They have all these scraps, and it's like you can use it for something.
Yeah.
You boys look long.
Is that Bosk?
Yep.
So she is based on a character who was like just in the canyon during a pod race.
You see her for a split second in the pod race, observing, watching the pod race.
She's just kind of like there with like a rifle. It's like, whoa, she's cool. Let's build on that character. She looks awesome.
Yeah, but I also remember that everybody was hyped. And episode 1 came out, and they saw that one character, Slave One. When everyone was hyped on that character and had so much thought that she was going to be such a major character in the series, in the movies.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same that happened with Boba Fett.
Yeah,
you just like kind of introduce them, but don't really explain, and people come up with like they generate their own.
And that's it. That's the great thing about Star Wars in general, though.
There's so much going on that every little person,
every character has a story that you want to know about. They make it that way. It makes
even the bartender at the cantina.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing about the clones in general. Even Boba Fett is that there's a certain amount of loyalty. And although Boba Fett doesn't have the same implanted, content in him, there is this element of they are who Boba Fett really is. Right. They are who Jango Fett really is. So they're all aspects of him.
Is there a loyalty to yourself?
A loyalty to yourself, to certain factions or people, and that's what makes Boba Fett who Boba Fett is. And we're seeing that develop into the series, which is
is throughout the show? Is there always like microaggressions from clones towards Jedi, just to kind of like as a?
What do you mean by microaggressions? You
mean they're kind of just like Jedi, kind of just that kind of attitude.
Well,
general.
It depends. The general's not a clone. He's a human. So there is between other humans and clones. The clones were bred to be loyal to the Jedi specifically. So
until Order 66.
Yeah, you would see very little. Them. Yeah, you would see conflicts with clones within the clones, but you would never actually see really massive conflicts, or rarely see conflicts between clones and Jedi in general. Right. So
the last season of Clone Wars?
This is season 2.
Oh, season 2. Oh,
yeah, this is only season 2 of Clone Wars. Yeah.
Do you guys think Aura Singh is hot?
No.
It
was so odd to ask. This is a great conversation between Anakin and R2 as to why R2 is kept the way he is. The fact that he never gets his memory wiped. That there are elements that Mace Windu doesn't agree with Anakin on little things like that sort of thing.
Mace is the worst, man.
Scary dogs.
He really has problems. Trust issues.
He pretty much his fault for a lot of things.
It really is. The animation in this series just was getting better in season 2, and just the adding lighting effects.
Yeah, I was saying this looks
atmosphere.
great, and I was kind of surprised at how much I liked that the last episode. So
Yeah.
it makes me feel bad that I never watched any of these.
We'll get you there.
Because it looks good, and the story was good.
Yeah, the story is. This is a great 3-part arc.
I like the subtle stylized, like different style.
Yeah.
Stylized version of R2.
Oh yeah, totally.
Just more like pointy angles.
They do some great R2 stories in this series too.
Everyone's shot in the same exact spot. They're so precise.
Executed like the troopers below.
Mm-hmm. There you go. See, good point you made out there.
They're shooting them right at in their lozenges. the little lozenges that the generals have.
Yeah.
I like the color scheme on that.
Yeah, it's like
the gold and purple.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's like a Lakers. Lakers.
Yeah, it's Lakers. Oh no! Get him, R2. Save him.
It's Mace Windu's droid, of course.
A rap on Mace Windu's droid.
Oh, dang.
Pretty much.
Oh, just sitting there with the light shining on it.
He used his helmet as like a little prop for his bit of revenge.
Oh, you'll see.
You think Mace remembers? It's like, shit, I don't remember everyone I killed. Oh, he remembers.
Yep.
Oh, man. I like the editing. I like all this clipping back and forth.
No! Drop it!
Oh. Boom.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa, he blew up his helmet?
Big...
Yep.
Was that his dad's helmet?
Yep. It was Django's helmet.
Dang. I mean, you could only do that once, man. Like,
yep.
It's gone. And you didn't even get him.
Wow. Yeah, Jason, she looks like Ari Up from the Slits. Like the punk band. She looks like Ari Up, her hair and like everything.
Maybe that's who she's based on.
Look it up, everybody. Ari Up.
Bosk is not the brightest, of course. But I hope we see Bosk turn up in Book of Boba Fett sometime.
I'm sure we're going to see at least one of those, if not Bosk, one of those guys.
Yeah, be kind of cool.
Whatever alien he is.
You see some in, don't you see one in,
It's like a Lassie moment. It's kind of silly, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, this is like, really?
Go get help.
We'll hold out as long as we can. Go on, R2.
Boba came that close to killing Darth Vader.
Yeah, good point. That is funny.
I like this music too, Brent. Standing out to me here.
Oh yeah, every score that the Kainas do is fantastic in this series. They also did the music for Bad Batch as well. I love all the camera angles that they do in all of this stuff. There's some great editing in this series. It always was all about the editing. That was Lucas's thing.
Yeah, and the way they chose to do the cartoon too allows them to like do good animatics.
Yes.
To dial in all the editing and all the
absolutely,
scenes.
Yeah.
Because I've seen clips of like episodes that didn't happen. They'll just be like the animatic.
Yeah. Well, that's what we'll show you at the end. Is I'll show you the little animatic of a scene that never happened in the series.
Oh, we have to see what this thing is.
Oh, you know what that is.
We're running out of time.
Aura Singh, is this a made-up character for the show?
That's the name
maybe
of the character.
She is modeled after Ari Up. That's weird because she.
Oh, maybe she is. That's
coincidence.
Yeah, Aura Singh is the character all the way back from the action figure from episode 1 that they released. Yeah.
Yeah, because they got to name everyone and they make a figure out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! It's destroying the ship.
Well, these things, of course, are gun darts.
Huge.
You know that name? Oh yeah, they're huge. Well, Han Solo says you can pull the ear off a gun dart.
Oh, that's what they look like.
This is a gun dart. Yeah.
That's what they made the ears prominent.
They mentioned
the first thing they mention is the ears.
Yeah.
What does a gun dart need to look like? I don't know. It has to have ears.
Yeah, and they're pretty big. Slave One. I like how Slave One's still painted in Jango Fett's colors.
Yeah.
Straight back to the
went
Jedi
all
Temple.
The way to Coruscant?
Yeah, we had to. Yeah, there's communications were down on the ship. That's why I had to jettison back to Coruscant.
Jeez, I need to pay attention.
Yeah, you're talking too much. Plo Koon is Dave Filoni's favorite Jedi design.
That guy?
Yeah.
He's like a turkey.
He's like a turkey.
Turkey
Exactly. Turkey head.
Come on.
It also shows that Anakin, at the time of that
Link's-
fight,
Yeah,
was not,
and linked it
you know,
together.
that he never saw the exact part of the fight where Mace Windu does take out Boba. Even though we as the audience see it happen, it means that Anakin didn't necessarily see that event.
He's like, Boba Fett, huh? That could come handy when I need to catch a smuggler someday.
Exactly.
Dude, he's got high body count right now.
Yeah.
He took down a whole destroyer.
Yeah. This is also very telling of who Boba Fett is, though.
I never saw him as a compassionate person, though.
Yeah.
You know? He's a bounty hunter.
Yeah. Well, he's only a bounty hunter because he's joined with bounty hunters. He's still trying to find an identity. His identity was known as a bounty hunter, but it's going to be different when he gets to Boba.
Sometime in the Sarlacc pit will do that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Aurora's kind of just like a ruthless bounty hunter, and obviously only,
But that's the
doesn't
thing.
have
I never
compassion.
saw like Boba Fett and saw like someone with compassion at all.
Right.
Like he's cold and
Mind you, he's also still a kid here at this point, so that's the cool thing. Is again, they do an episode, but then they'll hand off character arc stories to other characters in another episode, in cases like this, which is great.
I like those. That's cool. The posters on the side.
Yeah. I love the underworlds of Coruscant. Just the design stuff they do when they take stories there are great.
Yeah. So cyberpunk there.
It is, yeah.
Well, salacious crumb fight.
Yeah.
Kowakian monkey lizards.
This is the same character that's at Disneyland in front of the.
Yeah, it's Hondo. Yeah.
Oh, okay, it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
He's
It's
the
Hondo
one that
Onoka.
leads you into the Millennium
That's
Falcon
cool.
thing.
Yeah, they introduced him in season 1 of the Clone Wars, and he comes face to face with Obi-Wan and Anakin for the first time. So they have this reappearance of relationship. Hondo basically is a pirate. These are all pirates that are in this area.
Oh, look at that. That's cool. Well,
Yeah.
Sorry
the
about the
ads
mess.
on there.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
when you get to see
The
bits of
details.
culture in the
For
Star
sure.
Wars
Oh, absolutely.
universe, you know? Oh, shoot. Nice.
Yep.
That's when he decides
Hmm.
to not be a bounty hunter.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he's still a bounty hunter in the,
Yeah.
the
So he
sequels,
knows not to trust her.
which is the same metaphor that Han Solo takes. Really trust nobody.
Right.
Oh no, Slave One.
Whoa.
Oh shit. It's done. So the Slave One isn't what
Oh,
Django had.
more or less.
It's a whole new ship.
Well,
I always
it's
thought
the
it
same
was like the original one.
well, it might be. I'm not too sure. They
But
don't.
that one just got destroyed.
Well, yeah.
They get the bots, man. They piece it back together. It's all recycled junk.
So yeah, guys, that's the first 3 episodes there of where they introduce Boba Fett back into the animated show. What did you guys think of the story?
I thought it was good. It was surprisingly better, more intriguing than I thought it would be, I guess.
Is that did what's her name die?
Aurora Singh. Spoilers on that one, but no, she does survive.
Okay. So did he die off screen?
They realize
The
they like
off-screen death.
the character, and usually, audience response.
Yeah, audience
big
thought
thing in
she's
Star
hot.
Wars.
They're like, dude, bring her back.
Yeah, so she's brought back in the future, and they kind of have a brief explanation as to how she survived it all and everything. But we've had less explanation for more characters' deaths, returns, and that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
but overall, it definitely shines a arc into what young Boba Fett was like, and obviously there's room for change, and they still don't really go through Boba Fett's life and existence in between when the Empire up until A New Hope. You don't really learn too much more. You assume he sticks around doing bounty hunter work during that, but he, more or less bounces in and out of what we guess is other bounty hunter realms and stuff like that. So, but stories goes. I mean, again, it's like it's all about the camera angles. This series, George Lucas and Dave Filoni did this amazing thing to keep the story moving and compelling. It was always about camera choices and camera angles and how to make them interesting and different. How to move the camera around the scene, and you continually get that in every episode of Clone Wars.
Yeah, that is something that I noticed. That was really
it's
quick moving, quick edited, fast.
It's something you could do
editing.
with this style of animation. You could
completely.
change
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You could change the angle. It's just another step in towards like innovation that is pretty much like a tradition of the Star Wars franchise.
Sure.
Yeah, that's one thing I can hand it to George Lucas, that he was always pushing.
He's always pushing everything up until like everything up until like the volume of in Mandalorian is pretty much like at its the peak of that innovation that Star Wars always brings.
Can you imagine if George Lucas had a volume back in the day? I mean, the technology existed, that thing existed.
Right.
I don't think
the concept of the volume is actually an old concept.
Like a rear screen projection, like
that has been going on. So like
2001,
the technology just didn't get
perfect it digitally to where you can change it. You know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
For sure.
It would have been like the choice to like where they do the matte paintings and stuff, or like when Lando's taking over the Millennium Falcon or something. Like they're standing in front of this huge matte painting. That's how they would use the volume to kind of get that depth.
Completely, and more realistic ways.
Instead of like Lando just walking off into the darkness. Remember that?
Off the mat, walking off.
The shot.
Millennium Falcon.
You
like,
can
don't
see
worry,
like
I got this.
Yeah.
And then he walks out of lighting.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. That matte painting was rear projected onto them in that scene too. It was like a full rear projection of a matte painting.
See, that's pretty much the volume right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, complete. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just the volume you're using, like the Unreal Engine, you could like change the assets as in real time, and there's parallaxing, but like. Before that, it was all matte paintings or rear projection. It's just to keep up with what technology is able to do. And this Clone Wars series was a huge milestone in that cartoon. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the stories are excellent. You know, for the most part, these stories are really solid stories. Yeah, they have these occasional stories where they have to get to the point quickly, and sometimes
there's like they're half-hour shows, so
they're half-hour shows. I mean,
but they keep it moving. It's they don't really have time to lag.
It's simple stuff, you know. It is a cartoon also.
Sometimes sometimes some of those simpler stories or those plot points to get a character from A to B don't necessarily always work.
But also even a little darker than the they got blowing people, executing people like in a cartoon. It's like
again, Lucas had full control because this only went to Cartoon Network, so this was considered one of the more darker shows that Cartoon Network would air at the time. So Lucas was not constrained by you've got loss of limbs, you've got characters losing their lives, you literally see Jedi take out arms and limbs and stuff like that. As
it's crazy that like the level of stylizing of the characters kind of allows you to do that. I feel like it's the hyper stylizing that allows you to kind of get more violent, and it's not too graphic. And plus, a lot of the people get shot are wearing masks and stuff. It's no different from like the movies, which are for kids too.
I mean, the thing is that I look upon any of these stories in the Clone Wars and in Rebels as well as being nothing more than an extension of what we're seeing in the live action TV series. You get
as I hope they'd
depth.
be.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the last time that Boba Fett.
They're all canon.
What's that?
Is this the last time that Boba Fett is mentioned, or there's another episode
where?
No.
So we see the point. Boba Fett at that point is in the hands of the Jedi at that point. And the following episode picks up in season 4, and although we only see a short segment of Boba Fett in this particular episode, he does appear for a few minutes, and the story arc continues on his story. So we are going to probably pick up this episode right now and continue into it, and then there's one other final episode at the end of season 4 that kind of pushes Boba into another element of bounty hunting and stuff like that, which is kind of fun too.
I see.
So if you guys are ready, we'll continue on that right now. So.